Hey everybody, Preppernurse One here. Welcome to another chat here. Oh my god, I was just having technical issues. That's why I'm actually like a couple minutes late of getting on here. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Why isn't the camera lighting up? So I had to like disconnect everything, reconnect. Not fun. But anyway, so we got it figured out. All right. Oh wow, we already got a troll in here already. We just got started, troll. Why? Unbelievable. Uh so before we jump into anything, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot do that, those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches will boot you out of here. So I hope that we can have a good chat. And see, here's what's sad. Okay, so we're going to address this right here in the beginning because this is going to go on. Obviously, the troll has already started tonight. I'm going to ask you, please do not engage with this individual. JJ and the other moderators, when they see it, they'll take care of it. So, we'll keep it at that because you don't want to encourage these type of individuals. Obviously, it's a child, not properly disciplined by its parents when it was younger, and so that's why it's having this little game that it wants to play. So, we will let the moderators deal with that. Okay, so anyway, um, so I wanted to talk about this really, really quickly. Oh my God. You know, so there's always somebody who wants to rain on your parade. Okay. Always. Whenever you're doing something, there's always something that people want to do to rain on your parade. So I had talked in the video earlier today and, and talking about, that I'm feeling positive, feeling motivated because I'm getting things done. No, it's not a rant time, not a rant time, but I just wanted to talk about this because I thought it was funny. Uh, so the person in the comments goes, how is cutting the grass and cleaning up, making forward progress and prepping? They go, that's maintaining and maintenance. Well, first of all, I never said that cutting the grass was, you know, uh, you know, positive prepping type of stuff. Never said that, right? Cutting the grass is cutting the grass. I've been having to do that since I got down here. I like it when the grass looks nice, and I'm working on getting things more squared away and cleaning up little spots here and there, right? So that's yeah. Is that maintenance? That's maintenance, right? I know Life Force says just ignore it, but it annoys me because it's like, with reorganizing, and I now have a new building to play with, right? And I'm getting stuff in the new building, um, getting things squared away, cleaning out the battery room, and it looks like for once in a long time that there's a lot of room in the battery room, and there's still a lot of stuff that I've been working on it today again, getting things squared away and organizing stuff. It's just, tell me, is getting gas maintenance or is that a prepping thing? To me, it's a prepping thing, especially when you're buying as much as we bought. It amazes me, that anybody that, and of course, these are people that do nothing. These are people that do nothing. And it always amazes me when you see that. It's just, I don't know, that's just my take on it. And to me, it's like, you know, if you or me or anybody, right, pulls your head out of your behind, I have to pull mine out here and there, right? And I start getting motivated and I start getting things done, and I see that progress and I see things working and doing, and it makes me feel really good. Okay, and it's not an ego thing. It's a forward progress thing. Part of what we're doing down here, right, has to be getting things squared away, getting things so when my people come down, that they don't have to worry about a big pile of gravel sitting in here where everybody needs to park. So that's something else that I'll be addressing, this week. I'll be working on that. I need to get gravel all around the outside of the new building, just to tighten it up there so we don't have mice and everything coming in that way. It's just I don't know. It just amazes me, that people want to try to put a negative spin on something. But it's funny. I just saw, and I wanted to talk about this, and I just saw a video from, oh my God, what was it? The people are out in like Colorado, and they have a pretty good sized channel, and they're dealing with you know bullying and cyberbullying and people like showing up at their house and all kinds of stuff and causing problems. They just had a baby. Simple Life, or I can't remember what the name of that channel is, but anyway, they were talking about what they're dealing with, and people saying that they're phony and that they don't live there and all this type of stuff, right? And then you saw, I don't know if you guys saw the piece that was done on Wranglestar by Rolling Stones, trying to make him seem to be pure life. Yes, pure life for living. Yes, thank you, Village Homestead. That was the channel, and they were sharing that. And you know, this is when you put yourself out on YouTube. Unfortunately, this is the kind of crap you have to deal with. And people say, well, you're getting paid and blah 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 and all this stuff. Well, you know what? And you guys know my history. I've talked about the crap that's happened to me because of being on YouTube. And people trying to cause you problems and trying to cause you, stress and headaches and all that type of stuff. You know, and it just like, if these type of people put half an effort, okay, put half an effort into something positive instead of negative, they could be really successful. But yet they want to be negative and play these little games and all that type of stuff. Again, like going back to Cody with Wranglestar, they're trying. Rolling Stones tried to label him a right wing lunatic. And he was saying that they've used clips and misquoted, and the same things happened to me. Same thing has happened to me. And so here's what I find interesting, right? If I don't clean up and I don't get things squared away, what do I get? Right? I get, oh, your place looks like a dump. It looks like crap. Blah 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 blah. So then when I do get motivated and get things cleaned up and start trying to make things better, then it's like, well, what are you doing? You're not. That's not prepping. So it's like, you honestly, folks, you can't win. You can't win. So I've got to the point where I just, I don't care. You know what I mean? It's just, I will mention it, different things and stuff like that, just because unless you are a YouTuber and have a channel and have dealt with it, you will never understand. You will never understand. And why would you want to? I honestly don't get it. I honestly don't get it. So that's what the block and delete button is for. So I make sure I use that on a regular basis. I had okay. I'll give you another comment. Right, another comment, and I thought, and I'm like, okay, really? So this, and I'll even give the name out. Norm Holland, um, been off and on the channel. I hadn't seen him in a long time. So he comes in and he goes, "Haven't been here in quite a while. I see nothing has changed." And I'm thinking, okay, did you see the pavilion? Did you see that we have a well put in? Did you see that we got bees? So nothing has changed. So what I said to him, as a reply, I said, well, why don't you stay away longer this next time? Why would you even make that comment? I just I don't get it. I don't get it. Or people will, like I said, they take things out of context. It's just you know, it's whatever. Oh yeah, the bunker. Yep, exactly. So there's a lot that's happened, and that's okay. People just want to play their little games, and it's unfortunate, and it is what it is. But I will tell you this, okay? I do live here full time, and if you want to try to come, this is for the trolls out there. You want to come on my property and try to cause me problems, you better come ready. That's all I'm saying. Because I'm going to be real clear about this, okay? I am not Troy from the do it yourself world, okay? I will not turn the other cheek. You come here, and and I love this too when people say, "Oh, would you make another fake tough guy video?" Come on out here. Come on out here, trolls, and try to be a tough guy. Try. That's all I'm asking. You want to be a tough guy, right? You want to be a tough guy? Come on out here and try it and see what happens. Okay? See what happens. And you will find out. That's all it comes down to. So, just the games. It's unnecessary. Unnecessary. So, anyway, no, and we're ignoring them because the moderators are going to take care of them. So don't even give them any attention because that's what they want. Exactly, Carol Prince. F around and find out. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not threatening anybody. Not going to threaten anybody. Come out here and act stupid, and you'll find out. That's all. That's all I'm saying. We'll see what a wuss bag I am, and and all whatever. That's all. That's all I'm saying. You're that tough guy. You want to play the tough guy with your keyboard warrior crap. You know what I mean? Yeah, try that on a small homestead. Exactly, Karen. Exactly. No, I'm going to tell you what. It's like I'm not the toughest guy in the world, and I will be the first to admit that. But I can tell you this right now: I am not the one. I am not the one. So, all right. Now let us on that note, what do we have? 380 in the chat, guys. We're at 144 thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so, uh, you know, to show support for the channel. And I thank you ahead of time. I do appreciate that. Also, it makes a real big difference with the algorithms, too. So please do it for that reason as well. Gives us more interaction, puts us higher up in the rankings. Also, been sub 3 years. I never comment, but you can't mow wet grass. Exactly, Annette. Exactly. I love it when people say that too, Annette. Well, why don't you cut the grass first thing in the morning? Because there's dew on the grass first thing in the morning. I live in the mountains. Yeah. Thank you very much for pointing out the obvious. And I think I did point that out to somebody. And yes, when I cut the grass today, I'll tell you when I cut the grass today. I cut the grass today between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock. I was up cutting grass today in the upper meadow during the peak heat time of the day. Yes, I was working on my tan. So, um, too funny. But okay, so again, if you are not subscribed, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So now let's get into the topic of this video, right? This thin veil. We're teetering on the edge. I think what people don't understand, until something happens directly that affects them directly. Situation in Hawaii is a great example. It's a great example, right? SHTF situation, is it the end of the world for you or me? Probably not. But if you lived in Hawaii and you lived in that town where it got burnt to the ground, you know, that's an SHTF situation for those folks. They lost everything, right? And so, it's a very sad situation. You look at the loss of life. There's still like what 1,000 people missing, and here's a guess. If they haven't shown up yet at this point, they're probably not going to. So, I mean, what's that death toll really going to look like? Uh, why didn't the emergency system work? Why did the town burn to the ground? Well, you're talking about a very old town, old construction. Um, these things, these things happen, unfortunately. You know, I'm not gonna. I don't want to feed into the. And I've heard the whole thing about the direct energy weapons and all that type of stuff, and I don't want to feed into that because that doesn't help the people that are suffering. Okay, that doesn't help those people that are suffering. When you have situations like that happen, how about right now? Since what, the first time since what, 1939, you have a hurricane coming up through San Diego and all that area, and on top of that, they just had a 5.1 magnitude earthquake hit while the hurricane is coming. So when you see situations like that, things can change in your life, folks, in the blink of an eye. It's a very thin veil. There's a thin veil between civilization and anarchy. And I know that we've talked about this before. We are 9 meals away from anarchy. So what do I mean by what do you mean 9 meals away? What I mean is if something goes wrong, 9 meals away is 3 days, right? That's 3 days. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 3 days. After 3 days, the majority of people don't have the necessary supplies. They're not prepared. They haven't done anything. They don't even know how to start a fire. We've talked about that before, right? You look at the number of people out there that have absolutely no clue how to start a fire. That's scary. That is scary. Okay. So when you have these type of situations going on, people, it can get really ugly really, really fast. Really ugly really, really fast. And so that's what I think a lot of people don't understand. If your child is starving, and think about this, if your child is starving, what are you going to do as a parent to feed your child? And the reality is, folks, the answer is whatever you have to do. That's what any of us as parents would do to take care of our children. So to me, personally, being prepared, right? Being prepared puts us in that situation to be ready for that type of situation. I just saw, I wanted to bring this one up too. And I'm trying to remember the channel because I just saw this. Oh, um, uh, hold on a second. I give them a shout out all the time. I was watching their video, and I want to tell you, okay, the Nomadic Movement down in Panama, young couple down there, and they were talking about the protest in Panama, and they were showing the people, in the video, they were showing the people like blocking the highway. They do it, I guess, like twice a year. It happens, and so supplies can't get through, and there's the issues, but they're protesting X, Y, or Z. And so YouTube took down their video, took it down, and said it didn't meet um, the standards because of violence and stuff like that. Well, they didn't show any violence. None of the people were being violent. They just were protesting. And so I thought that that was amazing. And they actually, which I was shocked when they, because he did the video about it, and he said that he talked to somebody at YouTube. So think about that. I mean, I'm gonna tell you what, I've been on this YouTube for what, 13 years, something in that range. Almost 30, no, 12 years. 12 years I've been on, and I've never talked to anybody, not in person. I mean, they give you a strike, they tell you what you did wrong, and you say, well, no, I didn't, and they go, well, nope, according to us, you did, and so the strike stays, right? Well, he talked to somebody directly from YouTube, and of course, he got the big runaround because he was like, well, wait a minute, this wasn't violence, and there was no, anything like that. So, that's it's just it's amazing to me, you know and their channel, like, zero controversy, guys. If you watch that channel, the Nomadic Movement, there's like zero controversy. So for them to get that taken, I don't know if he got a strike or not, or a warning. I don't know what, or they just took it down. But it is amazing to me that something like that, they would take that content down and say that it didn't meet standards. I got something on the screen here. Hold on. Hold on. I see where it is. Well, it was driving me nuts. All right, that's better. So, um, what was I going to tell you guys? It was something. That's gone. Sorry. But anyway, going back to the topic, it's a very, very thin veil to being a civilized society to being completely out of control. You look at a lot of times what happens, and I'll always use Hurricane Katrina as an example because that was my wake up call, right? Hurricane Katrina happened 2005, and it was like, holy crap. I mean, it was unbelievable watching that play out on TV, and that was the censored version, is what we saw on TV. I want you to remember that too. That was the censored version. So it's it's unreal that, you know, when you see that type of stuff going on, looting, people getting killed, what happened at the Superdome. And you don't hear a lot, excuse me, you don't hear a lot about what happened at the Superdome. It's almost like, we'll pretend like it never happened and we'll just won't talk about it and it'll go away. But anybody that paid attention to what happened and the societal breakdown and how quickly things turned ugly and how quickly people turned ugly and a certain segment of the population acted a certain way, towards other human beings, it just, if that's not a wake up call, if that doesn't make you look at that situation and go, holy crap, we need to be squared away. We need to be as ready as we can be. I don't know. I don't know what does. I really don't. If you look at, like I said, and what did I want you to remember this too. And some of you may remember, some of you may not, because obviously now it's ancient history. It's so long ago, right? What was the first thing the government did when they went back in to those areas after that whole thing happened? What was the first thing that the government did, going house to house? Does anybody remember what they did? Because this one, yep, you got it. They took away the guns. First thing they did, if they walked up your house, they knocked on your door and they said, "Do you have any guns?" And you went, "Well, yeah, so we have, because it's been really bad and we're defending ourselves." They're give them up right now. And if you didn't, it was not a good situation. So think about that, right? Think about that. So, um, it is very sad and it's crazy, and and the fact that that would be the government's response. Now, what you've just done, right? So, the government going to post people outside your house? Are they going to put soldiers outside your house to make sure that that you're safe, right? They're not going to do that. They're not going to do. They left them high and dry, and now they had no way to protect themselves once the government's gone, and that's kind of messed up. And remember, you lost them all in a boating accident. Exactly. Well, like I said, my what if you've ever, guys, have you ever gone to the doctor for a doctor's visit? And I always, this always amazed me why this would be a question, at the doctor's office, when they would say, "Is there any guns in your house?" Why is that relevant to anything that I am doing at the doctor's office, right? To me, why would that be relevant? So, they were partying on Bourbon Street, streets in Bourbon Street until the barge broke loose. Oh yeah, well that's another yeah. Well, again, it's a mindset. If I know a category, so I live in a bowl. I want you to let's think about the mentality of this, folks. I live in a bowl, which is under sea level, and I have a Category 5 hurricane bearing down on me, and the officials have said, "Get out, evacuate. This is going to be bad. This is going to be a terrible situation." And I go, nah, it'll be fine. The mentality of part of that is a problem. Okay. The mentality of that is part of the problem. And some people, did they stay behind to possibly loot and pillage? Sure. Some did, not all. Okay. Some people stayed behind because they wanted to protect what they had. They didn't want somebody coming in and stealing their stuff. So, but, it just, the whole situation was crazy. And it's a very, very sad situation, and it's something that we need to learn lessons from. We need to learn lessons from those situations. And I think that is an important. Yeah, look at the price gouging. Yeah, there was a ton of that too. If you didn't have it and somebody else did, people were being charged a fortune for it. People will always. You have to remember this, okay? And this is important to remember. In any tragedy that happens, there are people out there that will try to take advantage of it. Let's look at the toilet paper situation, right? What were people doing? They were selling toilet paper for ridiculous amounts of money because they had toilet paper. Do you remember that? I remember that. You know, so much a roll for a roll of toilet paper. You know, I learned organized groups came to the rescue like the Cajun Navy. Yes, Susan, you were 100% correct. And that's the other part of it that I think that is always overlooked. And thank you for pointing that out too. And I appreciate you saying that. There's also, it does two things. When a disaster happens, it brings out the best in people and it brings out the worst in people at the same time. Yeah, $20 for a bag of ice, JJ was saying. Yep, yep. I think I heard someone getting up to $20 a roll. That's crazy. Yeah, never let a good crisis go to waste. So again, with the prepping mindset and a prepping mentality, if I am planning ahead, and I love when people say that it's hoarding, you're a hoarder. Okay, well, that's what you want to label me. I'm okay with that, but I'm not going to get caught with my pants down. That I can tell you. That's not going to happen. You know, I'm going to make sure I'm as ready as I can be. And when something happens, I don't have to go and grovel and beg for the government to help me. I can help myself. I can be self sufficient. I can take care of what I need to take care of. You know, so what do we got? 479 in the chat, guys. We're at 236 on the thumbs up. So if you have not shot that thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And I thank you ahead of time. It really does make a big, big difference with the algorithms. So thank you again for doing that. And also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to get all notifications as well. Hit that bell icon, I should say. And of course, always like, comment, and share. That's always a good thing too, right? All right. But it's just the sad thing is when you try to do something positive like prepping, and you are by society, right? See, if the society doesn't like what I'm doing, then I know I'm on the right track. That's the way I look at it. Okay, because they want to ridicule you, they want to put you down, they want to make fun of you until they need you. That's when they don't make fun of you. That's when they realize, holy crap, you know. And at that point, if it's just a natural disaster and it's a temporary thing, and here's the other thing that always amazes me about that. So you have these natural disasters that happen, and people go, holy crap, I wasn't prepared. And some people will go, okay, I need to be ready. I need to be ready for the next one, right? And so they get ready, they prepare. What do most people do? Most people do nothing. They do nothing. They go, wow, that was bad. Whew, I'm so glad that the lights came back on. And I'm so glad that, we finally are able to get, the refrigerators and the freezers working again. I want you to think about this, all of you out there. And here's a question for you. This is a question. And this is why one of the things that I plan on doing with the bunker is having an underground freezer. Okay. I want you to think about this when I talk about this. All of you that got freezers, which I think is a good thing to have, and you got them stocked up and you're prepared that way, which I think, again, is a great thing to do. And I think it's important to do. Power goes out. What is your plan? Do you have a backup power source? And I'm not just talking about a generator with a certain amount of gas that you can run for a week and hope that the power comes back on in a week. I'm talking about what is your long-term plan if the power's not coming back on? How are you going to make sure that food doesn't go to waste? Maybe a small treat for Hella. Thank you, Troy. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Thank you for the donation. And she can always use another treat. You know what I'll do is I'll go and I'll get some of those soup bones for her. She likes those. She's always she's always got the hollowed out ones out in the yard somewhere, and she's messing with them all the time. But have a plan of what you're going to do to keep that food viable, because there's been disaster after disaster after disaster where people had the freezers, they lost everything in their freezer. And think about how much that would be to try to replace all that food and stuff that you have in your freezer. Prepping is not just about the 3 B's, right? Beans, band-aids, and bullets. It's not about that. It's those are important, but there is well also, and I want to address this. Oh, you have all this unhealthy stuff behind you, blah 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 blah. This was bought by one of my group members, the CheezIts, right? Um, they bought this, and I'm going to show you. See that? Actually, the dust is on there too. It's not even open yet. It's not even open yet. So that's how often I'm hammering on the Cheez-Its. Somebody else had bought something else, another bag of Cheez-Its, and I was working on that one, and I share that with Hella. Triscuits, I like Triscuits. I don't care. Okay, guess what? Are you claiming to eat healthy then? No, I didn't say I was eating healthy. I'm trying to watch what I eat. I did say that, but I like Cheez-Its. I like Triscuits. You know, so what? But cut a sneaky hole in the side. Oh, that's funny. Uh, Jesus don't improve like an age with like a wine. Yeah, no kidding. But it's just somebody's always got something to say. Well, here's a girl. Hi, baby. Are you okay? So I got to tell you what happened last night with Miss Hella. We started on a new bag of dog food, and it wasn't her normal bag of dog food. All right. Exactly. Nostradamus says, Ed, eat as healthy as you want. You still die in the end. Exactly. Exactly. So, but poor Miss Hella, we changed dog food. So we started, and she loved it, chowing it right down. Well, because it was different, she was having some toilet issues last night. Okay. She's having little toilet issues. So she like was flipping out, and I let her out. And then she went, I know, baby. I know. I see you. So she went out. So I went to bed, and 2.5 hours later, she was whining and flipping out again. So I knew she needed to get out again and use the facilities. So I let her out again, get her back in, go back to bed. 2.5 hours later again, she needs to go back out again. So it was not a great night's sleep. I will tell you that I did not get a great night's sleep, but I was still productive today. So I was happy about that. So for those of you that want to say, well, you're just doing maintenance and whatever, that's perfectly fine. But yeah, so my poor girl, she's doing better now. So she's doing better now. But she really liked the new dog food though. So she just, she's had her issues with it. And I'll tell you what, when we came in today, because we've been busy, we've been outside, I've been doing stuff all day. She came in and she laid down and she was out. She was absolutely out. So, but anyway, so no, she didn't go on the floor, so that was good. No, that was very good. She was letting me know I need to go out. So, but Ed, how does the road look these days? Karen, thank you for asking that question. Actually, the road looks awesome. It's holding up very, very well. Obviously, there's still going to need to be more work done on the road. I've talked about that. We need at the very least, 3 more loads of gravel, and we're going to have to change the one culvert out in the one turn. And so we're going to get zero help from the kid that owns the property next door. So that's okay. We'll just do what we got to do. So, but her birthday is actually this month. She just turned 3 this month, and I couldn't tell you what day it was. But yeah, she just turned 3. So she is a 3-year-old girl now. Such a good dog. Scares the crap out of people. She don't like the kid next door. He's scared to death of her. But but anyway, the kid that when I say the kid because he's what 30 years old maybe that owns the property next door to me that was going to sell it to me that changed his mind at the last minute after we had a handshake deal. Yeah. Well, like I said again, I moving forward. I will, if I'm making a deal with somebody, we'll go to a lawyer right away and we will get it on paper. And, that way then there's a contract. So, yeah, she reads people. Yep. Yep. Now, she's a very smart dog, very, very loyal. When I'm cutting the grass, she will sit there and watch me cut the grass. She'll sit there and watch me. And if I'm like, um, if she's down here in the lower meadow and I'm up in the upper meadow, because she'll come back down here and she'll get in the shade and whatnot. If I turn that lawnmower off, man, she's up over that hill. So, you know, but well, here's something. Now, I was going to say something. I'm not going to say it because I don't want people to take it and run with it. They'll be like, "Ooh, he said this that they would do this," and I have shared my thought process with a couple of group members of what happens after SHTF, and I'll let you just kind of figure it out on your own um, from there. So you can kind of put two and two together. What will happen after SHTF happens with that property next door? I'll just leave it like that. So, but anyway, there's nobody on it. Okay, so there's not like there's a home and somebody's living there, anything like that. So yeah, handshake deal don't hold up in court. Okay, you're right, because well, if I took him to court, and I said we had this deal and we had a handshake deal, and he came in and said I never made that deal. It's his word against my word, and even though he would be a liar, you know, then there's nothing I can do. So that's just all. That's all part of that game. So that's kind of how we're going to deal with that. But you know, like I said, you have to you do what you have to do, and you know. So anyway, but again, we look at our society and you think, we have a pretty good society. It's pretty intellectual, and there's, when you're at a point in the society like it is now, right, where if you act like a man, that you are called misogynistic, you were, a troglodyte, if you will. You're a caveman. You're not thinking clearly. Uh, Jason Peterson made a statement which I thought was awesome. He goes, "It's not that you should be violent as a man, but you should be capable of violence." And I like that. I really, really like that. So you don't have to go around being a tough guy and trying to intimidate and bully people. You shouldn't do that. That you shouldn't do. But you should be willing to do violence if you have to. And there's obviously always situations in life where, you know, people say, "Oh, well, violence is never the answer." Well, in some cases, yes, it is. You know, if you are in high school and you are being bullied, right? And you know what? And I love when oh, well, that doesn't happen anymore. Bull crap! It still happens. Always is going to happen. There's always going to be some form of bullying, right? People are going to pick out who they perceive to be weak, and they pounce on them. That's what they do. That's what human beings do in general. To me, if that kid that's being bullied turns around and punches that bully in the nose, guess what? That bully's going to go on and look for somebody else to bully because he's like, "Holy crap, this one fights back." They don't like that. They don't want you to be fighting back, and then they leave you alone. So, you know, it's bullying is worse allegedly. Yeah, yeah. Bullies prey on the weak. They always have. They always have. I can honestly tell you guys, back in the day, I can't even remember how many fights that I got into because somebody was being bullied because they were weaker and smaller. And I just went, "Hey, you want to go? Well, let's do it. Here we go. I'm right here. Come on, come and get some of me." And sometimes they said yes, and sometimes they said no. You know, and it didn't end well generally because bullies generally, honestly, they don't know what they're doing. If somebody is trained, okay, if somebody has training and they know what they're doing and they know how to fight, they don't have to fight. They're not out there looking to fight, okay? And there's the difference. There's the difference. If you are willing and able to do what you need to do, you know, then you're okay. You're not the guy. The bullies are the ones that are used to intimidating people, talking the loudest, screaming the loudest, all those type of things, right? Those are the people that they will get. They will And that's how they get their way. You look at the crap that goes on right now in our society. If somebody has a difference of opinion than you, or like if you are feeling righteous in your opinion, um, and somebody stands up to that, then a lot of times they try to scream louder, talk louder, to make their point. They make a scene. I mean, you guys have all seen it. I'm sure you guys have all seen it. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. So Life Force says just block that person. When they come back in, Life Force, with multiple accounts, uh, it's see, here's what kills me. This is what kills me about YouTube. YouTube talks about wanting to be a platform, to help people and to share information and stuff like that. But trolls, they do nothing about them. Nothing. They can that. Let's put it like this: they know your IP address. YouTube knows your IP address. So how come they allow that kind of crap to go on to any channel, not just mine, but any channel out there? Why do they let that crap go on? But heaven forbid, I say the wrong thing or say something that doesn't go against their community standards, and we have to keep everybody, in a safe space. I'm going to be punished. You know. Yeah, they're cloning names of those that are in the chat. I know, ADK man. I know. And just let the moderators take care of them. All they want is attention, so please don't give them any attention. So, but they will give you the excuse that they give you tools to boot them. Yeah, but like I said, it doesn't really matter. You know, it is what it is, and so that's why we have moderators on the channel, and they do a great job. Because it's sad that people feel like they want to act a certain way. It is what it is. I've been dealing with it forever and a day. So, but anyway, so what are we at? 478 in the chat. We're at 298 on the thumbs up. Let's do this. Let's set a goal for 500. Let's do a goal for 500. So there's 202 more thumbs up. So we got enough people in here that we could get. Actually, if everybody that has not done a thumbs up already, we would be very close to 500. So let's shoot for 500 thumbs up, guys, just for fun, because why not? If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. Also, it really does make a huge difference with the algorithm. So the interaction itself is good for the channel. So I would appreciate it if you would do it that way as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you ahead of time. So we're now 169 away. See how quickly that happens? We were at 202 away. Now we're getting down there. So keep them coming, guys. The goal is 500. So thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Anyway, guys, staying focused. And here's the thing: it's like with prepping. I tried to explain things to people so they can kind of get it. You can get burnout. You can get burnout with anything. Anything can cause you to get burned out. If you're doing it all the time, you can absolutely get burned out. That's why I always encourage you to, the STD, right? Step, thing, and day. Just work at things methodically. If you do that, it is amazing what gets done. It's amazing what gets done. And it doesn't, there's that old saying, Rome wasn't built in a day, and it wasn't. It took a while. It took a long time. So, as we have made progress down here and things have come together, and, did the pavilion go up as fast as I wanted it to? No, of course not. I wish it would have been done a lot sooner, but delay is delay. It happens. You know what I mean? Things cost money. The floor alone, just the floor of the pavilion, was $1,400. So it's not like I'm going to go out back and pull some more money off the money, or the money tree, pull the $100 bills off the money tree. So when you make those gains, I'll never forget that weekend that we got the roof on the pavilion. And that was a long, long, hard weekend. Okay. It was a really long, hard weekend, but we got that roof on that weekend. The next get together, we were starting to work on the floor, and we had everybody was in the pavilion, out of the sun, in the shade, and basically since that point in time, that's where everybody is. If we're hanging out, we're in the pavilion, and it's awesome, and it's amazing. You know what I mean? So it is to see the things coming together and to see where we're at right now. And and now we have oh, we're going to do egg count in just a second, guys. Give me just a second. Now we got the wood stove in there. We got to get that obviously set up, and no guessing yet because they don't count until I say. um, you know it's amazing to see it coming together. And by the time winter rolls around, will we be completely done with the pavilion? Probably not, but we'll be in a whole lot better shape than we were last winter. That I guarantee you. If we did nothing else on the pavilion until the snow came, we're in better shape than we were last year. And that's always wanting to make that progress is important. Okay. All right. Let's do egg count. How many eggs today? And yes or no for Miss Thickneck. And I'm going to do this first. So when you're making your guesses, make sure you say yes or no for Miss Thickneck. Okay. So make sure when you're making your guesses, you got to say yes or no. So give you guys a minute to get your guesses. And let's keep them thumbs up coming. We're at 363. So we're at what, 137 away now. 137 more thumbs up to hit our goal of 500 thumbs up, guys. So let's keep that rocking up. All right. If you had the same guess as Kit Carson, and I think this is more than the first time that Kit's won. I think she's won before. Kit Carson with 4 eggs and yes for Miss Thickneck today, then you are 100% correct. So congratulations to Kit. You've won absolutely nothing except for bragging rights until the next live stream. Somebody before Kit had put 4 eggs, but they didn't say yes or no for Miss Thickneck. So they can't. And that's why I was reminding people you had number 3. Is that win number 3 for Kit? Well, congratulations, Kit. But oh, she's saying number 2. That's her second win. I knew she had won before. Yep. So I knew she had won before. So that's her second one, JJ, not her third. But anyway, you know, going back to what we're talking about here, doing those small things, guys. Rigged, listen, plain represent. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm calling up people. Okay. Is this so and so? Yeah, this is what the egg count is. Make sure you put it out there today. Um, it working at things slow and steady, and you get it done. Set those realistic goals, and you'll get it done. And it's like to me, it's if you just do that and keep that mindset, it is amazing what you can get done. And like I said, for me, it's like I was in a funk, and I told you guys I was in a funk, and I'm like I'm working my way out of that funk in getting things done and working on things. And when I'm seeing things come together like that, and it's not about cutting the grass, so please don't think that the grass is the grass that has to be done. So it is what it is. But when I'm seeing the progress with other things, getting stuff into the new storage unit, right? Cleaning up the battery room. It is to me that's amazing. And how many total are in your group in West Virginia? It looks like your group is really growing. Well, Daisy, I don't give out those numbers because of OPSEC, but we are definitely growing. I'm actually meeting with a couple tomorrow that wants to be part of the group as well. I did not sell the property in New York. Nope, I still have the property in New York. My daughter and my sister are living on that property in New York, so they're staying up there. So that's so those of you that are wondering. But Southern California is seeing massive shortages as panic shopping is underway. Exactly. That's another great example. 80K man. It's another. My mom is living in the small Batavia, New York. My niece is over in that region. She is in like a senior high-rise building. It's not assisted living or anything like that. It's not like a nursing home. It's just a building where they have people that are able to get out and do things, and they all live there, and it's a little bit cheaper for the older folks. And she wanted to go there so she could be around people her own age, and they have activities and they have all kinds of stuff. And she's made a lot of friends over there, so she's really enjoying that. But anyway, so like what 80K man was saying, that shortages on things because people are running to the store and they're panic buying. It's like it always amazed me, like in New York, whenever there was a snowstorm coming, and we knew it was going to be a good snowstorm. And I'm not talking about a foot of snow. I'm talking about a real snowstorm. Um, you know, People would go and buy bread and milk. You'd go to the store and there would be no bread and there would be no milk. And it always used to blow me away. I would be like, why bread and milk? If the power goes out, the milk ain't gonna last anyway. So it never made any sense to me. But if you are prepared, you don't care. Okay. And that's the beauty of being prepared. And that's the beauty of having that mindset of preparedness mindset. It puts you in a position where you go, man, whatever happens, no big deal because we're ready to go. We got our stuff, we're squared away, you know, and I honestly, folks, you guys know where I stand with stuff. Do I think something is going to happen? I absolutely 100% think something's going to happen. When? No idea. No idea. But it's coming. Rest assured, there's something coming. Uh, you know, will there be another pandemic? Will they do that again? I don't know. I don't know. You know, uh, will there be a financial collapse? Could be. You never know. Will the housing market collapse? Wouldn't shock me, right? There's so many things that can happen, and what'll happen then, right? The government will bail the banks out once again, right? It's just, but if you are putting yourself in a position that you don't have to rely on that government, that's important. They don't want you to do that. They don't want you to do that. That's the other thing. So so again, so an example of that. Why? What do you mean? Why wouldn't they want you to prep? Look at all the Doomsday Prepper show. What light did they put preppers in on those shows? They made them look like they were crazy. They made them look like they were nuts. They forced them, and Angry Prepper had to do it too. They forced them to pick one reason why they were prepping. One. Well, anybody that preps knows, right? Anybody that preps knows you don't prep for one thing. You prep for whatever may happen. That's why we prep. We put ourselves in a position that when something happens, because it's a matter of when, it's not a matter of if. When something happens, that you're as ready as you can be. And a lot of times, that something that may happen is a natural disaster that affects you directly in your small town or in your state. Right now in California, they're dealing with a hurricane and an earthquake at the same time. So, again, you know, did they have it on the schedule? Okay, on August 20th in 23, we're going to have this hurricane coming up, right? And it's going to affect California. And then also at the same time, we're going to have an earthquake just to make it more fun. You have no idea what's going to happen. None of us do. Do we see the signs of certain things? Absolutely. I'll tell you right now, if China makes the mistake, and I do think it's a mistake, of going for Taiwan, we could be in a third world war, which is insanity to me. In this day and age, in our modern history, that is a possibility that could happen because of lunacy, because this is ours. This is ours. We're taking it back. Well, it's not theirs, right? They're separate. They people went there after the Civil War situation that happened in China, what, in the 1940s, right? So, you know, all this time, and it's just like with Hong Kong. I mean, did you see anybody talking about Hong Kong anymore? What about the people of Hong Kong that didn't want to be under China's rule, right? So Great Britain said, okay, we've had our 100 years of having Taiwan. Now we're giving it back. And they had the plan to slowly bring it back under control. And then all of a sudden you had protesters and people were flipping out. And they're like, nope, we don't want to be under that control. We don't want to deal with that. And what happens, right? Oops, this pandemic happens. And then China goes in and goes, bam, drops the hammer. But you don't hear about that anymore. Nobody talks about that. I got a question for it, right? So the United States did a lot of business with Hong Kong. I mean, a lot of business, billions and billions of dollars with Hong Kong because they were separate from China. Did we pull all, I don't remember hearing, maybe it happened and I don't know. I didn't hear anything about all these companies pulling out of Hong Kong. Do you think they pulled out of Hong Kong? Or did they just go, well, business as usual. Let's just keep making the money. What do you think happened? Right? So, what do we 396 on a thumbs up? The goal, guys, is 500. We need 500 thumbs up before we jump off of here. So, we're 104 away. So, again, I'm going to ask you, if you have not done so already, to please shoot that thumbs up. And thank you ahead of time. So, I think China already owns us. We got sold a long time ago. Well, that's wouldn't be surprising. It wouldn't be surprising. It's amazing that the amount of land that is being sold to Chinese companies, or they have a different name for it, but it's owned by Chinese companies, especially the farmland, here in the U.S. And where's that food going? That would be another thing. Are they growing it and then shipping it back to China? I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't know the answers to that. I haven't done that much research, but it's amazing how much prime real estate land for growing food that China owns in this country. And are there other places that own more? Yeah, there are. Okay, um, but what's being done with that, and what's the end game? What's the goal? What's the purpose? Right? Like Bill Gates, right? What's his purpose for buying all this farmland? Why? So, yeah, for us to eat bugs. I ain't eating bugs. Not interested in it. I got to tell you guys, I had a conversation, and there's no judgment on my part, please, when I say this and I share this information with. I talk to everybody. Okay, it's what I do. When I'm out and about, I'll get in conversations with people. I like to talk to people. I like to hear other people's perspectives. I like to hear other people's thought process. And I got into a discussion with a young man, and he said he was vegan. He doesn't eat meat at all. And he was talking about, you know, we were talking about SHTF, and he goes, well, you have a rock there, and you pick it up, and there's grubs and all that type of stuff. You can eat those and all that type of stuff. He goes, I don't want to I don't want to think that I would have to eat meat. And I told him, I said, there won't be any around to eat. I said, we're going to be gatherers and growers. So, that's the thing that people need to realize. When SHTF happens, those woods are going to be kind of dry in a very, very short order. Very, very short order. So we're going to be gatherers and growers. So are you, in your location of where you're at, do you know your wild edibles? Do you know your wild medicinal plants in your area? Right? Do you know them? That might be a good thing to study while we still have the internet, while we still have options of being able to go out and do the research and figure out what's what, and then get out there in your woods, wherever you are. Even in the city, there's some, woods, and people say that there's weeds, and there's houses that have, are overgrown, and the town hasn't taken care of it. There's always, you know, that I'm the same way chatting up strangers. I can, like I said, my daughter used to say to me, she'd go, Dad, you can just talk to anybody. And I go, well, yeah, always have been able to. It's always been that way. But basically, America is getting karma for what they've done to people around the world. Uh, you know, I can sort of agree with that and sort of disagree because the Joe average citizen is not the one. Okay, Joe average citizen is it's not our fault what our government does elsewhere. Okay, it's really not. The average person in Iran, the average person in China. Again, I've talked about this, guys. These people are just trying to live their lives, just like you and me are trying to live our lives. The governments are the problem with control and trying to, exert. Like, I mean, we're taxed to death here. It's crazy. And if you don't like the U.S. history, then leave. Well, there you go, Morning Light. Exactly. That always amazes me too. If you don't like America and you want to talk all kinds of crap and it's a horrible place, then why don't leave? Go. You don't have to. Nobody's forcing anybody to stay here. I'm going to tell you what. I love my country, and I will fight for anybody in my country to have the right to do what they want to do, live their lives peaceably, not hurt other people, and just enjoy their life. I will fight for them in a heartbeat, right? But I don't like my government, and I'll be the first to say that. And guess what? And I will say this again, okay? Um, I what was I going to say? How I'm trying to remember how I was going to say that. I was going to, like I said, I don't like my government. Oh, I know what I was going to say. And just so everybody's aware, it don't matter what party's in control. Okay, it don't matter if it's Republicans in control. Don't matter if it's Democrats in control. At the end of the day, they're going to screw you and me. They're going to continue to tax us. They're going to give us a song and dance like they always do, and promise the world and come through with nothing. Okay, so that's where the way I feel about it. So the government is like the biggest problem, other than big business. Big business is a huge problem as well. So, all right, we're going to do shout outs. What are we at? 428 for the thumbs up. So we still need, what, 72 more. 500 thumbs up, guys. That's the goal. I set it high, but let's keep those thumbs up coming and see if we cannot hit that goal of 500 thumbs up before we jump off of here. I think we can do it. I think you guys got it in you. So we're going to do some shout outs though right now. And I know I'm behind again. What a surprise, right? So keep them thumbs up coming. Again, if you're not subscribed, also make sure you hit that bell icon and subscribe to the channel as well. All right, we got Heavenly Hills Homestead. Again, newer channel. Amazing the huge vegetables he's growing. So definitely check them out as well. There is Icky Can up in Canada doing his thing, living off grid up there. Good guy. You have Alaska. Oh, I'm sorry, Angry Prepper Jason down in New York City. Love Jason, great guy. Definitely should be supporting him. There is Alaska Prepper. It is Rudy. Again, Rudy's a great guy too, very down to earth. So definitely support him as well. There is Alaska Granny. Alaska Granny is another good channel. Definitely check her out. You have Sean James and My Self Reliance, same guy, two different channels. Amazing builder, doing his thing up in Canada, living off grid up there, and just showing you how it's done and how to build. And he's an amazing builder. There is Demcad, love Demcad as well, very down to earth guy. There's Corporal's Corner, Bjorn Hansen. You have 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. There's Bizarrizza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles. You have Marfugal News. That's Adam and Dax out on the West Coast. Definitely check them out as well. You have Magic Prepper in North Dakota. There is Wrangle Star. That is Cody. Real good guy again. Very family friendly. Very down to earth. And the fact that, like I said, the Rolling Stones did a hit piece on them, unbelievable. But not surprising because his views don't align with their views. So imagine that. Let's see. We have, where was I? Red Poppy Ranch. You have Survival Lily over in Europe. There is Kyle's Cabin. Kyle and Sierra living up in Minnesota doing their thing up there. Nice young couple. There is Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods. Husband wife team. Two different channels. They split their time between Michigan and Alaska, but really good information on their channel. There is, let's see, where am I? Green Greg's. You have Southern Prepper 1 with his Boots on the Ground series. There is Gray Man Prepping. You have St. Bernard Acres with Joe. There is Doug and Stacy. Doug and Stacy, another great channel. A lot of good information on their channel. Definitely show them some support as well. You have the Nomadic Movement down in Panama. The Green Dream Project out in Arizona doing their thing out there. You have Camping with Steve Wallace doing stealth camping up in Canada. Bush Doctor Survival. There's Monkey Works. The Needy Homesteader. She's been around for a while. Good channel there. Boss of the Swamp. Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Loved Diamond as well. Real good guy, very, very smart. You have Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. There is City Prepper, Lumina Acres, Suspicious Observer, Bear Independent, The Uneducated Economist. There is Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands of La Palma. You have Mary Greeley News, giving you all the latest updates of what's going on with Yellowstone. And so really, really good as well. You have Adapt 2030. There is Malachi's Corner. You have Ice Age Farmer. If you're going to get your weather, there's only one guy you should be getting your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall, y'all. Ryan Hall is a great guy. Definitely show him some support, and he really gives back to the community in a huge way. There is Russell Brand. I like Russell Brand as well. He gives you the information and lets you decide what you want to do with it. Um, Deep South Homestead, another very family-friendly oriented channel. Definitely show them support as well. You have The Outsider. There is The Fit Farmer. You have Prep Rebel. Simple Life Reclaimed. There is Townsend showing you what it's like to live back in the 1800s. The Prepared Mind. You have Pinball Preparedness down in Tennessee. East Tennessee Preparedness. The Economic Ninja. And last but not least, Little House Off Gritty. Really, really good guys as well. Definitely, show support to everybody. I know a lot of people had other channels in the chat that they were using. And 80 Man said, "Thank you, Ed. I appreciate the shout out every live." You're welcome, my friend. I hope it helps. I hope you're getting people coming up and, you know, and people are coming and checking you out. Like I said, I think we should support each other, you know. I think it's important that we do that. So what are we at? 454. So 46 away, guys. We need 46 more thumbs up to hit our goal of 500. So let's keep them coming. All right. So I appreciate that. We got to hit the goal. It's just part of the fun of it. If we can get it 500, that'll be awesome. I said it, like I said, I set it much higher than I normally do. Because, I mean, normally if I set it like 100 more than where we're at that point, you guys always blow through that. So I made it 200 more. So I want to see if we can do that just because why not? So 39 away, 39 away. But, Larry, no, I haven't cut behind the new storage yet. I was cutting in the upper meadow today. And then I was actually still organizing stuff from the storage or the ship. Let me rephrase. Organizing stuff from the battery room into the new storage unit. So I will get that done. That's, like I said, that's on my list of things. I have gravel that I want to get moved as well. So I have, so tomorrow when I get up, I want to try to start. I may do that tomorrow. I have to move. We have the extension cord back behind there as well. So I got to move that extension cord first. So that's where Steve gets his power, from the extension cord, for the Blue House. So I have to get that all out of the way before I get behind there and cut. And I want to cut around the truck and on all that stuff as well. So there's definitely work to do. But like I said, again, I just have a game plan that every day from moving forward that I'm going to get something done. Okay. I'm just going to get something done. And a little bit at a time. And before you know it, like I said, we'll have a lot of stuff done. Karen said, "Love all you guys. Have a great week." Thank you, Karen. You too. And I appreciate the support. And thank you very much for the donation as well. Very much appreciated. So, but, guys, again, prepping is so important because I don't want you to be victims. Okay. 80K Man said, Ed, by being prepared, it turns a disaster into an inconvenience. That's a great point, 80K Man. I like that. Absolutely. It makes it an inconvenience. But it also, which you one thing that you didn't put in there, and I'm sure you've done this yourself, it gives you an opportunity to educate. You can help people, which is awesome, but you can also educate them, encourage other people in that situation and say, maybe you should, think about maybe getting stocked up a little bit just in case this happens again, because, we're going to get another snowstorm. We're going to get snowed in again at some point. So, it gives you that opportunity. But what it also does, it gives you the opportunity to find out where your weaknesses are. So when the power goes out, and if it's out for a week because of an ice storm, you know, and all those type of things. Have you seen my Instagram? No, no. Maybe I have. Maybe I have. Yeah, I think we're you're on my Instagram too. But again, it gives us an opportunity when there, and that's why we say whenever a disaster happens, it's an opportunity to learn for us as preppers, right? Because when the big one does happen, okay, when the big one does happen, there's no more learning. You're going to have what you have, and that's going to be it. Okay, so every disaster that happens that affects you, every power outage, all those type of things, it it gives you that opportunity to learn, and that's important. If you're learning from it, and you go, okay, I was weak here, I need to strengthen this up, and that's an awesome opportunity. And I think that that is a really good thing. I've educated my kids, thought I was a nut job hoarding food and Rolo, and when nothing was available. Oh yeah, yeah. When nothing's available, then they really appreciate what you do. They really appreciate it then. So we have 467, so 33 away, guys. We need 33 more thumbs up. So let's get that going. Hey, John Lamb, thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate it very much. It says celebrate the first super chat from John Lamb. So thank you very much for helping with the channel. I do, like I said again, every little bit helps. So anyway, we are Legion. We are many. We're all over the world. We're all over the country. Where is everybody from tonight? We're 26 away, guys. Let's keep them thumbs up coming. We got Philip in Melbourne, Australia. Hello, Philip. Glad to have you here. Franklin County, Ohio. We have Connecticut's in the house with Awesome Sauce, Nowhere, Oklahoma, Omaha, Nebraska, Sandusky Bay, Ohio, Arkansas, Ozark Hillbilly, BC, Canada with Janet, Waterloo, New York. We have the UP of Michigan with Dawn. Carlise in the UK with Ann. Glad you stayed up late, Ann, with us. Got Belgium in the house. Thank you for being here as well. I don't know what time it is in Belgium, but it's got to be late too, so I appreciate you being up late. We have Charlotte County, Florida with Gloria. Sweaty, Missouri. Medina, Tennessee with Marcia. Texas is in the house with Dust Devil. Nostradamus in Georgia. Northern or Western North Carolina with Lamb's Light. We got Holly in Long Island, New York, Birdsboro, Pennsylvania, Texas with Nathan, Shaka Lake, South Arkansas with Lady Kicks, Northern Virginia with Robert. We have Dallas, Texas with Bead and Beans, Fort Worth, Texas with Sonia, Mud Creek, Ohio with John. We have Campbell, Missouri with Antonio. Los Angeles is in the house with Revolver Taco. Upstate New York. Scottsdale, Arizona. Amy said, I left Colorado. West Central Ohio with Dale. Trenton, Florida. We have Tucson, Arizona with Angela. We got B up in Michigan, upstate New York and Vermont with Camp Corona. Edgewater, Florida with Judy. Okay, I'm going to answer this question. Is it Christian to hoard food? I want you to remember, if you read your Bible, go back and see what I believe it was Joseph did with the Pharaoh. For 7 years, they had abundance. They stockpiled up for the 7 years when there wasn't any food. Remember that? That's right out of the Bible. So, yes, it is Christian to stockpile. The Mormons say that you should have at least a year's worth of food. So, there you go. It gives you an opportunity, just so you, Christian or not Christian, to help others. So, remember that too. So, if you're stockpiling food, and it's not, I don't call it hoarding, I call it stockpiling. It gives you that opportunity to help others. So, that's important. So, think about that. Think of it in that way. Wouldn't you like to be in that position to be able to help somebody at that point? We got New Hampshire's in the house with Brenda. Yes, the tanks are all filled up, Lamb's Light. Yep, I got that done this weekend as well. So all those empty gas tank cans, 5 gallon cans and all that, they're all stocked up now and tucked away and ready to go for a rainy day. And in 6 months, so here's the other question. It's like the group had asked me, well, what happens, in 6 months when we have to rotate? I said, that's easy. Everybody comes down, right, for that weekend. And we like say gas is $4 a gallon. So every can has 5 gallons of gas in it. So you give the money for that gas, you put it in your vehicle because obviously if you've driven down here, right, you're gonna need the gas unless you drive diesel. You put that in your car, boom, we take that money that we've gathered and then we refill those tanks once again, and then they're good for the next 6 months. It's amazing how that works. And you don't waste any gas, and you don't have to treat any gas if you're rotating it out every 6 months. So, all right, we got 487 in the chat, or thumbs up, guys. We're at 323 left in the chat. 13 more thumbs up, guys. 13 more thumbs up. So we're almost there. Yes, Sean, the propane tanks are all full. Yep. I have one tank that's on the camper right now, and basically this time of year, the only time I use it if I'm heating something up on the stove in the camper. So I haven't had to change. It's got to be almost out. Let's put it like this: it has to be almost out. It is. I've been using the same tank probably for the last couple of months, 3 months at least 3 months I've been using the same tank. So don't use it a lot this time of year. I'm not turning the heat on, and the air conditioning is powered by the solar system. So I'm not using propane for using for that. So all right, so four more thumbs up, guys. We're almost there. 496. So we got four more to go. I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. Very much appreciated, especially with this, stuff that we've had going on like the last three streams. So, very much appreciate what you guys do. You guys are awesome, ladies and gentlemen that moderate for me. It means a lot. Really, really, truly does. Also, I want to thank all you guys for being in here and being part of the chat. Means a lot to me as well. It's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy these chats. And hopefully, we're learning from each other. You guys ask great questions, and I bet you can't wait to cook on the cook stove. Yeah, that's going to be awesome when we get that set up, and it gets cooler, and I can go out and do my stuff out there. I can't wait for that, and I plan on doing a lot of cooking out there, utilizing that instead of the propane. So that will be fun as well. Again, guys, I let 15 gallons of premium gas go for 15 months and put it in my truck, no issues. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that either. Like I said, I have the stabilizer stuff that'll give you up to 2 years. I have that. That is for when SHTF happens, because at that point, that will go into the gas cans at that point, because we won't be using the gas for generators. That gas will be used to run chainsaws, because you're going to need to have a whole lot of wood, and I want to utilize that for that purpose as long as we possibly can, and that's what that's all about. So just something to think about. Anyway, guys, we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, really appreciate coming together, because we need to. We have to stop letting them divide us. I lost my train of thought, so I tried to save there. It didn't sound good. It was all whacked out, but just letting you know. Um, We have to come together. We have to stop letting them divide us. These race, religion, political affiliation, these are all tools used to keep you under control, keep you fighting amongst each other so you don't focus on the real problem, which is big business, number one, realistically, and the government, number two. Those are the big issues. As long as we're fighting, we're not focusing on that. And they can continue to do whatever they do and they laugh all the way to the bank. All right. So if we ever came together as human beings, man, what we could accomplish. And when I say accomplish, I'm talking about for the good of people in making life better. It would be amazing. Also, remember, guys, to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do, whatever you are trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only person stopping you from achieving your goals is you. Okay? That's it. Nobody else. If you stay positive, stay away from negative people trying to bring you down and trying to give you grief. Don't listen to them. Just dismiss them. They're not worth the waste of your time. All right? Stay positive, stay focused, take care of what you can take care of. Have a great night, everybody. I will talk to you all later. We hit 505, so we got through 500. We set a high goal there, I thought. So we got it. So you guys are awesome. So thank you very much. Appreciate that as well. Have a great night, everybody. I will see you all later. Prepper Nurse One out for now.